I just read your text about not needing to bring anything.
Unmute us, please. Unmute us. Okay, hello. My name is Sam Ramirez. I am the candidate for Lamar University Masters of Administration and Education. To my right over here, you can't see him, so he's going to say hello to the other camera, is Mr. Esparza. He is our inclusion specialist. In the middle, I have Ms. Keller. She is the general ed special education teacher. Over here, on my left, is Mr. Benitez, one of our general ed Algebra 1 teachers. Right here, right in front of you, is Ms. Everson, another Algebra 1 teacher. And our last person, Mr. Gambiral, also an Algebra 1 teacher. We're going to set our norms according to my CPPL agenda, and we're going to start with Mr. Benitez.
Let's see. Stay solution oriented.
Stay solution oriented. Love. What's your mood today, my friend?
8.5.
Ooh. Any celebrations?
One more day.
I'm
with you on that.
One more day. This day went kind of fast, so it's kind of nice that it's almost done. Mr. Esparza.
Yes, sir.
Norm, mood, celebration.
Strength-based language.
Ooh.
Refer to the students using student first language, and I just think that it's all about the kids. The
Good.
little kids trying to be using students with unfinished learning. Yes.
Love that.
And
What's your
then,
mood?
My mood right now, I mean, I'm perfectly fine, so it would be 9, 10,
Ooh.
but because of the amount of work I have to do before tomorrow, I'm
Minus.
Minus 1.5.
I love that. It's a great mood. Any celebrations besides your cruise?
I'm with Mr. Benitez.
One more day.
One more day.
I love
but
that.
I hope I
Is
can
that
pack
the
it all
theme?
in before then.
That's going to be the theme. I love it. Miss Everson.
How about be present and engaged when all I want to do is compare their data to last test?
Hey.
Yeah, wanna say.
You're already doing
You
it,
wanna
so
crunch numbers.
I know we're eager beavers, which is why hopefully when we do our data day, we already have a good sense of what to do, so it'll be easy to dive in there, okay? How's your mood?
I'm gonna go with, I'm like as far as I feel pretty high, but if I stay too long in the math, I'll start subtracting things. So throw that sucker at a 9, buddy.
I love it. Besides London, any other
Besides
celebration?
London,
Say it.
actually,
He says say it.
Say it. Say it.
uno más dia.
She had to put her little spin on it.
I love it.
I'm trying to learn Spanish, okay?
All right, Mr. Gabriel, talk to me.
Yeah, I go with expect the push.
Love it.
Morning, I felt by your way of talking to me, and like so, I was scared by seeing the test question.
Mr. Rao was expecting a question. I was like, I'm going to challenge you, Mr.
Yes.
Rao. And
So really, I said the same thing. I repeated his words in my class. Hey, you may see the quadratics and exponentials. So it is like he said to me, expect the push, right?
Woo!
Do this. That's what I said.
I love it.
You said that to your kids?
I was scared, really. I saw the question.
You
and
was.
everything there, all exponential and quadratics are there.
He was
All
freaking out. I've never seen Mr. Rao
I wish
so
you would have got
hard.
that on video.
It was
because
funny.
I wanna see
Yeah.
it.
A little bit, there
It
you go.
was funny. Talk to me about your move, Mr. Rao.
Yeah, I'm 10 out of 10.
Oh.
Because you see, only in my first period, couple of students are absent, but in that I'm making 95% passing rate. So I don't have any complaints about my fourth and fifth period. I get 100%.
That's amazing.
Wow, Mr. Rao. Thank you for that. Miss Keller.
Mine is going to be
Wait,
build
his
capacity.
celebration. Oh, that was his
That's my
celebration.
celebration. I got it.
Build capacity.
Build capacity.
You broke the streak.
What's your mood like today, Miss Keller?
My mood is going to be a 10.5. Hey, the reason why I'm a 10.5 because my highest score was a 96. So I had one student that almost got 100.
Nice.
What did she miss?
It was a he, and
Oh,
honestly,
yeah,
I do
what's
not
up with
know.
that?
I have to see what he missed.
Okay. Oh, I can't wait to hear
It was
it.
probably the one I helped them with.
Oh, Lord. Oh,
Yeah, I think he missed one, two.
I will follow in the steps of Mr. Esparza, strength-based language, because I'll talk about the purpose in a little bit, but it is about our EcoDis kids that we want to focus on, which is a majority of our building, okay?
Yeah.
My mood is also 10. Again, I'm not sick. It's just, you know, we're all connected right here, so it's
You
just
better not be
transferred.
sick. I might be peed on that.
Celebrations. I don't know. I just feel good. Like it feels weird that I'm tapping into my gift giving language a little bit. So it feels good to get you all breakfast. So and that made me happy. So just the gift giving. Is
Thank
something-
you very much, by the way. That was
Yeah, of
scrumptious.
Of course.
That's what Malcolm ate.
All right. So what are we doing today? We're gonna do some matrices. Okay. After that, we're gonna think about the 7 key things with closing the gaps with our kids. You don't have to look at this right now. We're gonna come back to it. Opportunities is my focus. Okay. I don't need you to tell me anything about glows. Okay, because I know that I just want to get better as a person, as a leader, as a professional, whatever the case may be. If you have glows, great, but opportunities is more important to me. Just like I gave you all the other day, using the detailed approach. So all these questions that we went over, I'm going to try and hit all of them. Am I going to be perfect? Probably not, which is okay, because there's always room for growth. So, our campus is all the 9th grade. We are an only 9th grade campus. We have about 567 students. Preferably right now, the fall semester, we're servicing 215 kids. The purpose of this meeting is to model the approach to engage our EcoDis students. We have about roughly 85% EcoDis, which is a majority of our campus. So we like to just spread the wealth and make sure all kids are receiving the same type of services in some fashion. Okay, do we have any questions?
Can you please say what that eco whatever means again?
Economically disadvantaged. So our kiddos, we are a Title I campus, we are in a Title I district, so our kiddos are coming from backgrounds where they don't have the resources, they can't access a lot of things. Cool? Alright. Alright, let's do this. Systems redux. Did I say that right, Mr. Rowe?
Yeah.
Love it. I'm gonna give us 5 minutes to do the do now. Please, only talk to your elbow partner. And I'm gonna throw in a little kicker right here. After you do this do now, explain what you did. I'm gonna have one person come up just to explain one problem, but I'm not gonna tell you what problem you're doing. 5 minutes. It's looking great. The focus is admirable. Ooh, I like that Mr. Benitez is boxing triangles and circles. That's pretty cool. Mr. Rao, do me a favor. I love that you did the work. Check on your neighbor to make sure the process is doing okay, okay? Very nice. Still 4 minutes, so take your time. Miss Keller, I like the little clouds, very cool. +5, okay. Okay, my friend. Which one are you trying to do?
This one down here, I'm just distributing it out.
Oh, so I like that keyword distribution that you just did. What does that mean in terms of?
It means to multiply this
Love
times
it.
this times this.
Love it, love it.
Yes. So I'm just trying to figure, because I'm in Calculator 101, I'm trying to learn all the little buttons so I can, show the students, because I didn't get to use this when I was coming here.
So,
It's crazy.
this part.
I didn't even know that little button was in existence right there.
If you teach this,
Hold on, this right here. I'm gonna show you how to do this. You have
So I
the
tell them that there
5
is a,
denominator, just
Ah,
Ah,
right
that's
there.
what I'm trying to do.
and so they're multiplying
So,
each term.
that's, because the kids
I
need
explain- I
help.
teach
and
them
I'm
what
trying
term
to
is.
do this.
Yeah, I love that, very good.
So, while we're doing this,
what I can do is by
and
this,
Yeah.
put the first parenthesis here, then x minus 4y and z on the top, 3x minus 5y plus z on the bottom. What you are doing is
so you
subtract.
moved it that way, but I move it out.
So 10 minus
Are you
10.
done?
10 apples, take away 3 apples.
Yeah. appreciate
-4
y'all checking
minus
your stuff. I love that.
All of
So
this
every
is
time
the
this
same.
helps me, like, you know, when I was teaching Hollywood IE system, right, you have to put that C, that indicates like, okay, what you are doing. That is a horizontal method, the distribution. This is vertically you can do simplify. So -4 minus -5, which is +1. So -9 minus 1 is -10.
I love that, Mr. Rao, because that's how I used to teach as well. Very good. I'm gonna have Mr. Rao do that one in just a second, and then we're gonna move forward. Checking airtime, I have 4 people. How are we doing over here? Still on it?
Yeah, you're
Love
good.
it, love it, love it.
You can do.
Still got 2 more minutes.
Yucky.
She said yucky.
Yucky what, Miss Everson?
I am,
Talk to me.
remember I taught Algebra 2 and it was not my favorite.
Oh, you can enjoy it actually.
Don't look ahead,
Algebra 1
Mike.
you
Okay.
can enjoy.
Don't
Is
look
this
ahead.
algebra two?
Don't look at it.
Yoda is not allowed to look ahead.
Don't look at that, Mr. Beaver, because I already know.
Adjective.
You're my high level learner. You know what, Mr. Rao? Just because we got about a minute and a half,
Okay.
I got something for you because I knew preparing for this.
Sandwich to eat.
I knew preparing for this, I'm gonna make you do something else.
Okay, good.
Just for right now.
I'm
Just to keep you entertained, maybe you could start explaining it to Miss Everson.
Okay. Sticking everything in here just to figure it out. So you're out,
Okay.
and then, I don't know what this button is. Use the
Start right there, number
Okay.
1. Do me a favor, I'll underline keywords that you find. Miss Everson, for your entertainment, check out what Mr. Rao did.
116.
Okay, I'm checking if this is inverse to this or not.
There's about 45 seconds.
Oh, inverse, got it.
Use matrix multiplication when whether two matrices are inverse. If you multiply, your answer should be like this, which is called identity.
Love the vocabulary,
If you
combine
multiply this with
terms.
this, if you get this,
Love the
say
shapes
yes.
because you did different shapes,
If
very
not, your
nice.
answer is this, then say no. But do you know how to multiply?
I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
but that times that
What
is
you trying
already
to
not
do?
I'm
one.
just trying to figure this
Which
out.
time?
Figure out is what I'm
Negative
trying
1
to do, so I
times
can
2.
See what the kids
That's
have
not
done.
how you multiply.
Two.
You wanna know something funny?
See,
Mr.
there is a
Sparks?
meaning for
Last
these
year,
arrows.
nobody saw
This
that
is going
fraction
like
thing.
this, going like
Up
this.
until
So it's not
the kid showed
this
us,
against
and then after that, we,
What?
it was
No,
history.
it is like kind of this.
Yeah, that's what I'm
First
saying,
row
because
with first
they
column.
keep sticking in one and then
And
dividing by
first,
two.
the second, first row, second fraction, then that's what you multiply.
But you gotta remember, so.
Like this kind of things. Negative 1 times 2 is negative
All right.
2, right?
Just because
3 times 1 is 3.
I saw something.
I mean, I
I
did you
saw
actually know
something.
that you go this times this?
So that's what these arrows
and
stands for,
times
yeah.
This times that?
Yeah.
I love
yeah,
it.
This will, this will go in.
We're gonna have fun.
Do you see that new wrinkle?
Does that mean?
Kind of.
That's what I used to do when I was with my kids.
Appreciate you, Sparks. So,
That means stop talking.
I don't want to do all the problems, but there was one that Mr. Rao did that I wanted to talk about specifically. So I'm gonna have Mr. Rao come up to the board.
Okay.
Mr. Rao, I want you to explain how you did number 2 because number 2 is in my mind, and I want everybody else to see the different approach because I knew you were gonna do
Can I
that.
ask a question prior to do this? Can you erase on that, like you just did?
I just use white.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it is.
Right, okay, here you go. So you see inside the parentheses we have a polynomial, here is one polynomial, right? So we are basically this minus that, right? So what I'm going to do, I write this first one, 10x minus 4y minus 9z on the top. And the second polynomial I have in the second parenthesis is 3x minus 5y plus z. What I'm doing here, first one minus second one, right? We are subtracting, right?
Yes.
So make sure you remember this by doing that. I will insist on this because every time when I'm subtracting, you got to top this like this. 10 minus 3. This is how much? 7, right? So 7x. Then here is a negative 4. Negative 4 minus negative 5. Negative 4 minus negative 5 is positive 1. So positive 1y. Then negative 9 minus Here there is nothing means 1. So negative 9 minus 1 is negative 10. So it is negative 10.
I love that, Mr. Rao. Thank you so much.
Right? Welcome.
So, just in case, because I saw some confused eyes and we're just like, what the heck is Mr. Rao doing? Instead of doing the horizontal method, he put it old school, like elementary style, and all we're doing is subtracting. Be careful, because right here is where I saw some lost eyes.
That's right. I agree with you.
Okay? I know that -4 minus -5 freaks out all of us. Don't worry, you got a resource in your hand. You have that nice calculator. Just put it in there. It'll pop out a 1. Okay?
Yes, it's a beautiful accommodation.
It is a beautiful accommodation. Next, don't forget, because I know he showed us with our hands, but do yourself a favor and write that imaginary 1 right there because it exists. And then there we go. The learning goals that we're going to do today is we're going to determine the dimensions. We don't know what this is except my rockstar student, but that's going to be very important. Okay? Next, we're going to identify, man, I'm just like all over the place. I apologize. Next, we're going to identify some elements, also very important. I don't know what that is yet. Don't worry, you're about to find out. And lastly, we're going to determine the inverse, and I'm going to add a piece to see if it's an identity matrix. We're not going to solve today, unfortunately, because that's just going to be way too much for our brains today. But we will continue this tomorrow. Wink, wink. Some keywords. Miss Everson, out of all the junk that I talked about in the lesson goals, which one sticks out to you the most?
Matrix element.
Love it. That's exactly what we want to focus on, because when we look at this matrix, there's going to be numbers in there. That's going to help us solve and start figuring out what we need to do. Thank you. Our little cup today, we're going to find out what a matrix is. We're going to understand how to model a situation, and we're going to engage in discourse about dimensions, elements, and inverses of a matrix. I want you to talk. Okay? I want you to talk. I want you to write in complete sentences, because at the end of the day, we want our students to be able to read and write and talk correctly. Here we go. Mr. Benitez, read that ugly statement for me.
Where? The top?
Yeah.
Systems of equations can be cumbersome to solve by hand, particularly when the systems contain 3 or more variables. There is another method that you can use to solve systems of linear equations using technology. It involves a mathematical object called a matrix.
Love it. Ms. Kelly, read the next statement, please.
A matrix for matrices is an array of numbers composed of rows and columns. A matrix is usually designated by a capital letter. The dimensions of a matrix are its number of rows and its number of columns. A square matrix is a matrix that has an equal number of rows and columns.
Love it. A lot of mumbo jumbo, we got lost everywhere, but guess what? The important words are bolded. Connecting back to our learning goals and what our be able to do is dimensions, matrix, and we're going to talk about elements in just a second. But before we do that, my friends, we might not know what a row or a column is. So, I have a little hack. Not really a little hack, but we're going to expound on it with some visuals as well. I'm going to write the word rows side to side. I'm going to write the columns vertically. Just so that you know, rows are left to right, columns are up and down. Okay? Think about that for just a second. I'm going to count to 10. Think of something that is a visual that makes you know, oh, I know that this is a row. Oh, yeah, I know that this is a column. I'm going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Miss Everson, when you think of a row, what comes to your mind that lets you know, hey, I know that this is a row?
My first visual was being an auditorium and they're long rows.
Yes! Auditorium, you have rows going side to side. Love that visual because that's exactly where I wanted you to go. Columns is a little more difficult.
Can I jump on that one?
Go for it,
Same
Miss
visual I
Everson.
had?
Go for it.
So here I am at the ballet in my mind. I'm going down the column and I look up and I see a balcony seat that looks better. So I gotta throw a ladder up there and get to that.
Ooh.
So there's my column.
Oh, I don't like the way I did that. How do I draw a better ladder?
You're good. Get it.
You get it? A ladder.
It's a broken ladder.
It's a broken ladder.
Pretend.
But I love that. So we know rows are side to side, columns are up and down. That's the purpose of it. The matrix, I hate the way this is. So erase that because it annoyed me. Because n does not become before m. So don't look at that. But I do want us to know when we're looking at these elements on the inside of a matrix, element 1, 1. What does that mean? We're looking at
First row, first column.
Beautiful. Row 1 by column 1. Oh, I don't like that. If I'm looking all the way, if I had something like this, A to 3, 4. What does that mean? Not you, Ms. Everson, not you, Mr. Rao, Mr. Benitez. When you see A subscript 3, 4, what is that telling you?
Row 3, column 4.
Love it. Row 3, column 4. And those are our elements. Okay? Next. I don't know who I want to read. Who wants to read?
I'll read.
Go for it, Mr. Esparza.
What would
Thank you
like
so
me to
much,
read?
sir.
Starting with what
Right here.
The Fleet Feet show.
The Fleet Feet shoe store in your town just got a shipment of Phantoms, a top-selling running shoe. They are available in sizes 9 through 13 and in widths C, D, E, and EE. The manager of the store keeps track of the inventory according to the number of pairs of shoes in each size and width using a matrix shelf.
Love it. Talking about what, Miss Everson?
Shoes.
What's your favorite shoe, Miss Everson?
Not a phantom.
Well, I don't even know what a
I
fan
don't
is.
either.
Not even the size.
What's your favorite
Yeah, I
shoe?
can't even buy that even at my size. Stupid phantom.
Platform shoes.
That's true.
Some platform
Platform
shoes?
shoes.
No, my favorite shoes
I heard they have
are
platform
either
forks.
Vans or Uggs.
Vans or Uggs. I love that. So take the Phantoms out of your mind and think about that you're buying shoes that are Vans or Uggs.
Uggs come in platform?
I wore them on it.
Oh, I didn't. Oh.
Miss Keller, what about you? What's your favorite type of shoe?
Mine's right now are Travis's.
Ooh.
She's fancy.
Yep, that's the ones I have on right now.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, I hit on them last
She
week.
changed the laces too.
Yeah, she changed them.
You go, girl. How'd you get that?
I love that.
Some people still want them. You know I could sell this shoe for like $800.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes. Because it's got the inverted swoosh.
They don't
Yeah.
come in platform, sorry.
They do not.
But that's an invention that could be possible.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. So, at our table groups, we are going to describe what each row and each column represents in terms of the problem. You have your matrix here. And then, we're going to talk about the dimensions in just a second. I do want us to know, because it wasn't talked about earlier, dimensions is how many rows and how many columns do you see? So, here's some sentence starters just in case you're like, oh, I don't know what to write. Don't worry, I got your back. I think the rows represents this because. I believe the columns is this because. When you get to dimensions, the dimensions are, and I know this because. Want you to write some full sentences, share it with your neighbor. I'm going to give us 2 minutes just to talk about this amongst our people.
What access to describe?
What are those numbers inside the matrix? Interesting.
So the rows describe the width?
How did you know that?
You're looking at this one right here.
Yeah, so
Okay,
we
yeah,
have
rows.
C to the right, rows describe the width.
Represent size
and C, D, E, width.
and the
So the other one has to be the sizes.
The size is right, shoe size.
represent
column.
width.
Dang, some people have some wide feet.
Okay, now
Hey, what's an EE?
I
What
work
does that mean?
that's like a
Like a super?
no, it's just a wider shoe.
So what is the narrow one?
That's gonna be like a D, C or D. The E is like you're size 11, but your foot is big and
5
very
by
so you
4
have
or
the E.
4 by 5.
Second.
And you're
Rows,
describing
feet,
the
width, columns.
matrix.
Dimensions,
You see
okay.
4 by 5 or
Dimensions is
5
like
by
in
4.
rows. How many rows? 1, 2,
So
3,
4 rows.
4 rows. So 4 by how many columns?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I love that, Mr. Rao. Thank you so much for that. But I wonder what those numbers mean inside the matrix, though. It's interesting. I wonder if anybody can figure it out.
The sizes. Is that what?
No, it's how many pairs you have of each.
Ooh, Miss Evers, I'm gonna bother you just a second.
That's right, it's the pairs.
Got about 30 seconds. We need some complete sentences. Love that, Mr. Rao. Thank you for using the sentence stem. Very good, Miss Everson. Thank you so much. Mr. Benitez, ooh, you didn't write full sentences, but that's okay. You're looking at it, you're thinking about it. Very good. Don't forget, you got these sentence starters right here for you.
Where?
Ooh, Miss
Oh,
Keller
there's
went a
you
different
there.
approach with her sentence. I love it.
But this one, you said, what are the dimensions?
I'm
The
pretty
dimensions
easy there,
are
sorry.
Yeah. you're
how
doing
many, like, so I have to count how many rows?
How many
Or
rows?
how many,
it. Give us 30 more seconds because we're still writing. I appreciate the full sentences. The academic language looks great. Thank you for using those sentence starters. I hope everybody's full because I haven't even touched my biscuits. I'm hungry.
You better eat it, or Mr. Rao's been eyeing it.
Mr. Rao.
He already said you gotta get an extra biscuit for being a superstar.
okay.
All right.
That's a good movie.
Miss Everson, I'm going to call you in just a second, but I do want us to describe. Mr. Benitez, how many rows do you think there are?
4.
How did you do that?
I was looking across how many horizontally.
Some horizontal, okay. That's a high level academic vocabulary word, so you went side to side and you counted 4.
Left to right.
Love that. So 4 horizontal. I'm just going to put some key abbreviations right there. Mr. Esparza, how many columns do you believe are there?
There is actually 5 columns
Ooh, how do you know that?
because they're represented by the sizes at the very top, which is the title of each one, 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Ooh, sizes told you how many. I love it. Appreciate it. Miss Everson, you're going to answer this dimension thing, and then I want you to explain what you were saying earlier. What's the dimension?
4 rows by 5 columns.
A 4 by 5 matrices. And how do you know that? Or, sorry, rephrase your question. Could you tell me more about the elements inside that matrix?
Those are the combinations of shoe sizes and widths available.
Ooh, combinations of shoe sizes and width.
Question,
Ask it.
so she said 4 by 5, could we have did 5 by 4?
That's a great question.
If not, why?
So,
This is a good question. Does it have to, I mean,
just because we're curious, okay, Mr. Rao,
infinite wisdom, Mr. Rao.
we do rows first because what?
Right, because you see, at this time we cannot explain why. Because when we go to multiplication of the matrices, that rows we have to take it and we have to multiply with the columns. That's why we need to count only first rows and then columns.
So, in a sense of, I'm going to come back here. There's no direct why of why it has to be as rows first.
So they're not interchangeable.
So rows are
Correct.
first, then columns.
Always.
That's
Thank
all.
you for that.
RC Coda.
Always rows first.
RC
I
Coda.
like that. It took me a second.
Always.
RC.
Because, like Mr. Rogers explained, we cannot do multiplication with matrices if the rows are not first. Okay? Let's keep going.
So that would be a hint at the very bottom. Multiply rows first.
No.
No.
Multiply rows by column.
Correct.
Ooh. Okay,
Right, rows.
looking at the elements, okay, we're going to describe what these elements mean. Remember, we're doing rows by columns. Rows come first, columns come second. So I'm going to help you with the first one, and then we're going to quickly do the other ones with your partner. So if I know A sub 3, 4, Benitez,
Oh.
What does a 3 represent one more time for me?
Row 3.
Beautiful. Row 3 and then?
Column 4.
Love it. Let's look at it. What is row 3, column 4? Coming down here. Row 3, column 4, 7. What does that represent? I don't want just a number. This is 7 pairs of, what was it? Size 12 with E. Man, my handwriting is terrible, isn't it? Love it. 2 minutes. Write full sentences.
4, 5. 4, 5.
Let's go.
You said size 12E?
Size 12 with E. Terrible handwriting. I apologize. Check on your neighbor. Maybe your neighbor doesn't remember rows come first.
4, 4, 5. 5. So that's
Lovely counting with the pencil.
Size 13, right?
Size 13, okay.
2, 4, 5.
Very good. Checking our work. Going back for reference. Love the full sentences, Mr. Rao. Thank you, sir. Love it.
8, 2, 1. Size 9 with the size 9 with.
What is that little symbol called? What is it called?
Subscript.
Subscript. Okay, just
The 3/4 is a subscript.
no, but the whole thing. Is there a name for the whole?
It's just
thing?
an element.
An element.
Correct.
What was the
Thank you for that question.
So the whole element is A34?
Size 9 and with.
Yes.
8, 2, 1. So we have 90.
What's up, my friend?
That's it.
That's how the size is on the
That's
sheet.
alright, yeah, you're right.
Nobody says size
You
13
got
with
7.
E. You say 13 with E.
12, 13.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. Correct, that's right.
Oh.
2, 1.
Here, don't run away with my truck.
Wow, he must trust you.
Yeah, because you passed your test, dude. Congrats.
4, 3, 2, 1. I'm not gonna check this, but I appreciate it because this leads into the next part. Are we excited? We are gonna think, pair, create, think, create, pair, share. So, I actually don't like that. Now that I'm thinking about it. So, you're gonna think with your partner. Okay? Think with your partner. Next, you're going to create your own matrices with your own elements. You're going to pair it up. You're going to make sure you're working together. We're making these elements together. It does not matter what numbers. It does not matter the amount. It does not matter. This is the part where I need us to work together, come up with different types of scenarios, and then we're going to share. Any questions on the
We
directions?
can put any numbers here.
Nope, we're creating our own matrices with whatever numbers we want.
Perfect. With who?
With my people.
Let's do it.
I like that.
How much time, Miss Everson?
10 minutes.
2 minutes?
Okay, Everson gets a
Man,
pick.
you are stingy with
Okay.
I was thinking like,
I'll
wait,
take
What are we
3.
doing?
Like,
What are we doing, Miss Keller?
I thought
Talk
we
to
were
me.
just putting numbers in the box.
yeah, so why not
that's a
30
difficult
seconds?
task.
30 seconds?
For numbers in a box. Let's go.
You want
You're
to put
thinking
numbers
30
in the box and
seconds?
answer
Yeah.
here in ABC, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
And
That's a
answering
good
Yeah.
questions.
idea.
All right, then we need more. I thought we were just putting numbers in a box.
No. Doing the same thing that we did prior to. Thank you.
You're so funny.
So we're just putting random numbers? Okay,
We started with the beginning.
I'm putting 0 for 9 because they don't have
No,
a size.
she's saying.
Oh, we
It has to be in sync. It has to be in
We
sync.
started
You're
with the
doing one
beginning.
to
Oh, okay.
1 to 20, bud.
1 to 20?
Yes, sir.
1 to 20.
That's why she gave 30 seconds.
Alright, 1.
I see her logic now when she gives. You got 1 minute.
Now, do me a favor. We added some time. Answer those questions.
What are the dimensions? Guys, remember dimensions is rows
4 by 5.
and columns.
What are the dimensions?
Okay, 4 by.
Yes.
Five.
Okay,
Matrix,
how many
4
rows?
by 5.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What matrix element was size
10E.
10E? 4.
10E, that's gonna be 3, 2. It's gonna be B, 3,
4
2.
is like 2.
Where do you put my keys? Are you still in my truck?
They're there.
6.
Then how is B4 to B4 to 4 to is
What
small,
matrix
right?
represents 10?
Minus 10.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 6.
Row 3.
Fourth, see,
Four row.
fourth row, second column, right?
Fourth
B,
row, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
832,
6, right,
Eight.
6.
8, 3, 2.
And
Then
then
B
2
for
and
two
2.
Yeah,
seconds.
I just put the number that was in there, but
It's
I.
8, right?
It's 2, what do you mean 832?
Okay.
Row 3.
So this
Right,
is a
like 10E.
fourth row,
Row 3, column 2.
second column.
Right?
Wait, repeat it. It's just so many letters and
8, 3,
numbers.
2, right?
It's 3, 2, isn't it?
Yeah, 3, 2, yeah.
3, 2,
Yes.
Yeah.
3, 2.
B4
So
to
then I put
means
17 minus 9 equals 8.
B40.
You're talking about
to
for
The last
C?
one,
10
what is
is
the difference
the time
between 42
is 17.
minus 24?
Okay.
B
I got 17.
17 pairs of
minus
5
12
centuries,
B.
then B4.
Yes.
Is it 9? Is it
Right.
9?
Yeah, 9.
Okay, that's what I
1,
got.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is real confusing. I mean, it's not space out like you're in a ride or something.
Got 2 minutes. That's a lot of time. We still have time. Take your time.
I mean, we're still thinking.
Love the complete sentences, Mr. Rao, in some fashion.
Wait. Yeah,
Sorry.
4 or 5. You did.
Gotcha.
I'm not a good
See,
pencil
I
writer.
just feel
So.
there's so much.
What's that mean?
There's so much going on.
Mm.
And
The
so
difference
many
between that
areas
size
that you can
with that size.
mix
Okay, I like that. You
Yeah.
that.
are thinking about
That's why it is all
subtracting
like,
two. Very cool.
all matrices, computer.
The question is, how are they different in the sense of position?
Computer in
Oh,
any language.
position.
Oh, position, not the quantity.
Correct.
So that data can be going fast. More data
So that-
in less
Well,
time.
because one is on row 4,
That's the
one
other
is on
way.
row 2. That's what you want me to say?
Yeah.
So
But
all of this
for-
did not
It's
matter.
almost like
But I love the
programming,
work
right?
though.
Engineering, like
I
engineering
appreciate that you
more
understand
Wait, no,
what
like,
exactly
I
that
didn't
is.
do this.
So,
Yeah.
very great.
I was
Very great.
Which branch
Civil.
of engineering? Civil. Oh, civil.
Yeah, we didn't do this.
Right, right. Yeah, I think in
Civil was
mechanical
like
electronics,
underground,
computers. Yeah, yeah. Soil testing.
Utilities. and
About
yeah.
1 minute left. What is that?
That's B42 equals 6, 10 double E.
Oh, okay, so you're telling me the exact position?
Mhm.
I love that.
So they
What's different about that?
are
Well,
in
that's
different
6,
locations.
that's 8, that's 10E, that's 12D.
And how did you determine that? How does that make it different? Like, what told you, I know that this is this, I know this is this, and how do you know that that specific element is represented with that? How do you know that they're different?
Because you told me that the rows is first in the column.
Right, yeah. Perfect. The rows are first, columns are second. Very good.
This is good.
Love it. Just gonna pick on one group. I loved that they did this. So I'm gonna ask why they did this, so
Yeah,
we can
what's
talk
the
about the quantity of the elements. Okay. So let's call us Group B.
Oh, that was us?
Yeah. So what lured you to doing 1 through 20 very quickly?
Carlos told us to.
Why?
No.
Keller is bossy. That's okay.
No.
I love it though. So
I just
Miss
followed,
Keller,
but it makes sense.
Honestly, because you gave.
why does it make
Actually,
sense though?
Well, it makes sense because it's easier to see the rows and the columns. Like it's a better visual, right? So I can tell you 9D, what is it?
I haven't
9C has one pair, as in size 13. EE is 20.
Because when you get 2 double digits.
So,
That's right.
first thing
Yeah.
first. Me and as far as it decided 1 to 20, like you was
Right.
opening the door.
Yeah.
So let's
Let
clear
her finish.
that.
Let her finish. Let her finish.
But the reason why, because I was thinking 30 seconds, it's just easier because if I started to scramble numbers, can you use the same number over?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I was thinking it's just easier for me to go straight through without repeating numbers.
So
Because
push,
in my head, I didn't know if I could repeat or not.
so push your thinking, because you chose 1 through 20, and I heard it confidently. I said we're doing 1 through 20.
Well, I have a response too.
Go.
No, you finish.
I'll remember.
I just want to know how we knew it was 20.
Yeah,
Well-
I want to tell
well, we
something.
did.
Oh, no, he did it, like, he finished and he told him, oh, it goes up to 20.
Yeah.
But we
Well,
was just writing.
Because 4 times 5 is 20.
Boom.
No.
Well, beyond the logic of what she had, truthfully, the directions never stated that you had to go through and count all the different quantities of whatever you had available, right?
Right.
So to facilitate this, it was just easier to put 1 through 20 and be done.
Right.
But if we were supposed to go count quantities of calculators and say on that row there's that many calculators and do all that, it would have been a different task. So then we'd have different numbers. But
Now I want to tell about this 1 to 20. As you choose, specifically mentioned in the question, is the pairs of shoe coming from the fruit store, right?
right.
So it cannot be every time in this particular ideal situation. It never
It's
happens.
never gonna be. True.
So,
but there was
first
never
of all, your choice is wrong. That you go from 1 to
there
20.
was never
You have
direction
to
to
choose
say
random
count
numbers.
the pairs of shoes. It just said,
Right.
figure out the representation there.
And I love the dialogue. The discourse is evident because
Quit. I'm gonna come out.
we're gonna do this for 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes, unfortunately. So I'm gonna speed through this because I do want us to see where this is going.
Yeah, because I can
So, multiplication of matrices.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. Multiplication of
So here we go.
multiplication of matrices. Gonna speed through this. I highlighted sprinters because maybe that's not your sport. Okay. But we're gonna talk about points. But I do want us to share our personal experiences. What's our favorite sport, Mr. Benitez?
Football.
Football. I love it. You're gonna be the rock star player going and scoring all these points.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I already called Everson and Miss Keller. Mr. Rao, what's your favorite sport?
Cricket.
What? Okay. Cricket.
Gotta be different. I'm Mr. Rao. I have to wear a pink shirt and be cool.
So, I want us to talk about this open-ended. Okay? So,
Yeah, that's all they.
Lauren, on her first piece, had that 3 times. Okay? These are the points. Okay? So, let's talk about just row 1, column 1. So if it happened 3 times, how many points did she technically get?
30.
How do you know that, Mr. Benitez?
10 times 3.
Beautiful.
I don't understand, where did 10 come from?
That's just
Oh,
Yeah,
right
that
here,
is
the
the number of
points.
points you will get.
On the
But
points, you
first
multiply
round,
points
if we
times
we
the
hit this,
amount of
if we
runs.
did this, one first round makes 10 points. So you get 3 first points, so 3 times 10.
Love it.
So she won first place 3 times.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, he did that very quick, easy multiplication. Issue. I want to know the total amounts of Laura's points after the 5 times she went through. How am I going to do that?
38.
38. How did you get that, Miss Keller?
Because she won 3 times first place and there's just 1 on a second. So I just did 30 plus 8.
30 plus 1 times 8. Very good. So, we got the row and we multiplied it times the column. Very good. We're not going to keep going. That's homework. Tomorrow I will check if you got Carrie, Megan, and Eric correct. But thank you, Miss Keller. 38 is correct.
So which one?
The second one?
Yeah.
16 plus 8.
What is so funny?
Let's see, he's just laughing. I did it in my head. I got 40.
Maybe I did.
Yeah, so
2
multiply
times
this with
8.
this,
What is 2 times 8?
2 times 16.
16.
That's what I got there.
16 plus
Well, you
4
didn't
is 20.
1 times
Yeah.
8. Wait, what?
Correct.
Plus another 4.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't go
24.
down. I didn't go down to. I kept staying at.
Well, your
That's why
homework
we
would
are
be
to multiply
wrong.
I ain't copying you.
So,
That's what multiply.
I didn't
So,
go down. I'm sorry.
let me get
I
your
said
attention
second
real
place. I
fast.
don't know what the hell I said.
Homework, moving on because we don't have time. We don't have time. So, real fast. I know we're eager beavers. Real quick. What is the dimensions of this first matrices? Let's call it A.
4 by 5.
4 by 5.
Love it. Thank you. 4 rows, times 5 columns.
Copied my homework. It was a simple mistake.
This one's a little harder. Mr. Benitez, what do you think the dimensions are for, let's call it, matrix B?
1 by 1?
5 by 1.
5 by 1. Miss Everson, how did you do that?
Guys, you're not Benitez.
Counted, which is
Columns and then
No, rows.
rows and
Rows by columns.
1 row, 2 row, 3 row, 4 rows, 5 rows. By 1.
One.
It looked like an associate giving PTSD.
Who?
So 5 by 1, right? Because it's the names going this way and then the score.
Correct. Correct. So, we started doing all this multiplication stuff. We got a little scared. I don't want us to get scared. But, our resulting matrix is going to have 4 values.
So 4 by 1.
Beautiful.
4 by 1.
So,
Yeah, I was scared when you said we're doing algebra 2.
This will be 4 by 1. Yeah.
now, this is leading into multiplication. Very, very important. This is the last thing we're going to talk about, and then everything else is for homework because I know you guys are going to do it. I cannot multiply matrices if my columns and rows are not the same. Okay? I cannot do it. It just doesn't function. It won't do the multiplication and addition correctly. So that's a rule right here. And then my resulting matrices is the 4 rows and the last column, which we got right here. Okay? This rule is very important. Here's a scenario for you. If I had the sprinters and they got the medals, and I multiply it by the medals and the points, my resulting matrix is sprinters by points. My rows, my columns, my rows, my columns. What needs to be the same? The columns and the rows, which is the medals. Since those are the exact same, I'm able to determine the amount of points. And that's it. We'll stop right there. So, coming back, because I know we want to finish that. Hopefully we do, because I mean that's something fun for y'all to do. We missed out on one opportunity, and I'll reflect. I'm already reflecting, right? I'll start, and then I do want to hear everybody speak. My missed opportunity is I did not finish the lesson goals. I missed out on inverses. But that's okay. Do it next class. Mr. Rao, what's an opportunity for Mr. Ramirez?
I think for like 10 seconds.
10 seconds, I love it. Take your time. If somebody has it before Mr. Rao, go for it.
I think you said it several times, so you recognize it, but I think you need to practice your handwriting. You want us to copy it because it's very important that we're processing your writing, and so I think you need to make more of an effort for it to be legible.
Hey, I appreciate that. I will tell you this, I wanted to use my MobiPad, but guess what? Being a teacher, stepping in your shoes, I only had time this morning to plan.
But I know you can write better than that.
Oh yeah, thank you, I appreciate that. Go for Mr. Rao.
Right. So when I'm introducing this first time to the kids, I don't go with the big matrices.
Okay.
So take a small like a 2 by 2 or 3 by 3. That will be easy to understand for the kids. Then we can expand this. Then another second point is like when I'm explaining this, when I'm first introducing it, it may be possible at this time, but if it will be good if I'm introducing at the same time the TI-84 technology. Okay, if this is the rows and columns and I'm creating the matrix, how do I do the same thing on the calculator at the same time? So
I love that.
simultaneously they can use like both ways.
Yeah.
And they will be able to create the matrix for you.
Yeah, I love that because that'll skip the whole inverses thing and all that stuff. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Very good. Anything for me, Mr. Benitez?
I guess like academic vocabulary, emphasizing on the academic vocabulary.
So some more of the academic vocabulary. I appreciate that. Miss Keller.
So still confused on the question, cause what we're supposed to be doing is giving you feedback on how you taught,
Opportunities.
for just like teaching.
How do we?
To
Correct.
enhance his teaching style.
How can it become more better? It's
Correct.
already better, but how can it be more better?
Nitpick me, because I love the nitpicking.
Well, I had to get up to get my own highlight.
And I knew you were gonna say organization of materials.
I love it.
I do too.
I had to look around and say, oh, where's his highlight?
Man, I really do enjoy y'all. I don't think y'all recognize that. Mr. Esparza.
I'm a big believer in anchor charts and,
Ooh.
if you don't have that, people can't understand what the hell you're talking about. So
It's
that's,
That would have been good to have an anchor chart that had, that
The
you put
rows
up
and
after we said about rows and columns and, elements, so that way if somebody got stuck, you could just say, refer to the anchor chart, please.
And
Can I
that's
tell you
just
something that I really applaud her for doing? Anytime Miss Keller needed to remind herself, she would go back to the front
Mhm.
and she would look at her rows and columns thing.
Yeah.
So I thought
And
that was pretty
that's
cool.
the
But,
other thing is too, is that I think if you have something in front of them,
or right here,
because to have this like this, you have to reference back and you're kind of going through here and you have to shuffle through. But if you had the matrices in a smaller format from here, even though you had it up here as an anchor chart, they can reference to it. Cause she, like Miss Keller, she has her little chart she does every day. It's crazy awesome
Yeah.
for the kids.
yeah,
And then it's all over the walls.
yeah.
So for them, it's a very redundant thing for them, but repetition is the mother of all learning. So
I
you
love
keep doing it over and over, and she does it every day, and they have it right there. So if they don't know the slope intercept form now, they need real serious, counseling.
But then also, you didn't, like I always said, the expectation, we did not know what your expectation was with note taking. So some of the stuff I copied, some of the stuff I didn't copy,
Yeah.
some of the stuff I went on and threw my own note taking on there because it was no note taking.
So,
And I'm also a big believer too in chunking. There's too much
it was a lot.
for the population we serve.
That's a
You
lot.
cannot give them this kind of material like this because they're gonna look at you like you've lost your mind,
I love it.
and you lose them.
So I think with the academic vocabulary, like writing where it says rows are horizontal while columns are vertical, that's something to write in the notebook, right?
Yeah.
So it's something simple like vertical. Everybody should know what horizontal and vertical means, but now it's like, because when you say about rows and columns, I think about the Excel sheet,
Yeah.
right? Rows and columns,
Yeah.
right? So how can
That's
you
good. That's
how
good
can you
reference.
relate that like something that you do every day?
I love that. So, through all this feedback, looking at these 7 key things, y'all are super big rock stars. Because I know y'all spend the time. Because you all just gave me that feedback. Something that I'm lacking in, I'm out of the classroom, right? So it was very difficult for me to find that time. And so it's obvious that we don't have enough time. But I appreciate that the time that you do for these children. Next, we're tracking their progress. Are they growing? Throughout the lesson, it started out with, I don't know what this is, except Mr. Rao. And then throughout it, it kept building, which was great. Cultural connections. This is something difficult. I tried to do it, make it fun. Talked about the shoes, talked about the sports, just so the kids can have something related
You
to.
have to authenticate it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Evidence of learning. As I was circulating the room, I was looking every single thing. I didn't touch or reflect on certain things because I didn't need to. We were wasting time. Sticking to the HQIM.
What
I know, I was about to say, do we know what that means?
Instruction material, like.
High quality,
High
I was
question.
about to say high question, but never mind. I already
yeah,
said it.
high quality instructional materials, Carnegie. Engage. Appreciate the engagement. I have a relationship with you just like you all have a relationship with your students. Yes, there are days where we're off, but that's okay. That's a part of the process. Continue growing as a teacher. The feedback is important. I'm not perfect at all. And I appreciate the feedback because I know I get to take this, maybe soon again I could do another lesson rehearsal and I'll be able to address all these things. Cool. Last thing and then we're adios. I want you to give me this paper. Okay? You're gonna tell me if I hit it or not. If I didn't hit it, write it down. Hey, I didn't see this. Hey, I didn't see that. More feedback from me. That's the active ticket because essentially you're feedbacking yourselves in the future of, this is how I'm gonna approach my economically disadvantaged students.
Right
Yep.
up here, or
Yeah.
on a sticky note? Or just
Is it not the last page?
No.
No.
Is there
I
no-
don't know.
Yeah. It's not. I thought it
We
was.
don't have that paper.
Oh.
Just put 5 stars,
Or,
and we know what each star means,
Yeah.
and then if,
So that's my fault. I forgot it didn't print because I thought it printed, but it didn't print. So 5 stars. Did I hit it or not?
Oh, just to that point.
Correct.
Okay.
Did I do the cut? Did I do the question? Did I incorporate discourse? Was there a type of differentiation? Exit ticket? Not necessarily. Cool.
Yes, you did. Discourse.
Question. Where didn't you see the differentiation?
you didn't get, differentiation is giving kids opportunities to do different
models,
things,
different
or,
models.
I did one piece.
oh, with him,
So I
you
did.
gave him a paper.
Not I mean, I did that. Okay, great. I did that one. Didn't really care because I was just making sure he was busy. Well-
With the paper.
I gave that choice of putting in your own elements. So like.
But that's not differentiation to me, we still all had to do the same task, and that is to input numbers into a matrix, that's the task.
Like
Differentiation isn't,
but
okay, everyone gets to put the
I
right
think
numbers.
because like he's saying like we use 1 through 20. What numbers did you guys use?
Well, my
No,
understanding.
but we're still doing the same task, differentiation is, okay, this is too hard for you,
It's
so
a different
here's
approach
one
to
that already has
explaining
the
same thing.
numbers,
So
like, so,
don't totally respect it. And that's where, when I get Dr. Wiley's, so that's the thing too that I hate about these eval stuff, right? Every person has a different
A
view of
different model.
differentiation.
I think for me, differentiation is it's different ways of teaching the same thing.
Correct.
So if I use crayons here, I can also use pencils here to teach the
Yeah.
same.
No,
thing.
but okay,
correct,
but for
at the
somebody-
same time, differentiation in learning
In learning.
styles.
right,
So
not
what-
in how you
What are we
present it.
referencing to
styles.
here then?
It is your job to teach. Okay, let's say a linear function. I show them like as an equation, table, graph, a word problem. This is my strategy to show it different ways. But as a student, I'm making sure that he get like say there is a low ability, high ability, and language
Do I have
problem.
my name
These
on
all
this?
kids get the same concept.
Just wanna take a
Right.
quick look.
What I'm doing differently to that kids. That is differentiation for me. What do
Right.
you say?
For me, well, because this is my thing on our T-test, and I always get low numbers on this, to me, what she wants to see, anytime I ever get feedback from people, is that if this child, I'm having group work, and this child, doesn't work well with groups, and he wants to work by himself, then I have to make sure he can do it by himself, but provide him the support he needs, that he's not getting in the group.
Well, for
Or-
me,
Or, hold on,
no, I get it.
but again, too, this is my 3rd go around, well, 5th go around. Yeah, so you know what, she's right, let's go. I need to go to the ladies' room and all that.
Right.
Oh, so that's
Fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
We'll talk more about differentiation on the 15th. Have a great break. Take your drinks. Y'all are amazing.
I think it's just,
Thank you.
I see it very like everybody eats spaghetti different, but it wasn't the same bowl. Some people like, and because I used to work at a restaurant at Olive Garden, some people cut up their spaghetti. Some people use a spoon.
The intro to.
Some people just
So
eat it
essentially,
eat it like-
the
eat it like-
opportunity to make the decision on what goes as the elements was the differentiation.
Yeah.
But was it
But ask
top-notch?
Wiley, would that be a one that would get you above a 3? No.
correct?
Well, I
It
think
wouldn't
it's
get,
because-
it barely get you a
I think
3.
it's because it's incorporating all the different learning styles of the
Correct.
student, the listening, the tactile, the visual,
Correct.
you know,
Correct.
I got a lot of-
Doing good.
Have a great day.